Hello, and welcome to the Success by Hangout group. And today is an awesome day, and we're discussing Facebook, how Facebook is important and how it helps us to grow our business. So let me introduce you to the panel of judges we have over here, the expert panel. So, Kat, can you introduce yourself?
Yep. Hi, I'm Kat Payen. I'm in Bordeaux, France. So hello to you. And I'm just putting in the link to a Facebook page where if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to click on the link and it'll take you to the page and there we can see all your questions. What else can I say?
Awesome. So, Dave, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Dave Menzies. I'm in Glasgow, in Scotland. Great to be here again, and talking about what's one of our favourite subjects of the hour, which is Facebook.
Awesome, Gary.
Hi, yes, I'm Joe Hayes and I'm from England and UK and I can't wait to talk about Facebook advertising.
Awesome, Cameron.
Hello guys, hi, big welcome, also from the UK, from sunny Bristol, and big hello, big greetings to you all, really looking forward to this hangout, and let's get the show on the road.
Awesome. And we have Satya here.
Hello, Tarek. Yes, Satya Gillen here, trying to get my name up on the screen, but I'll do that. I'm in Ireland, I'm in Belfast, and delighted to be here and talking about Facebook is such a powerful tool to help us all find the people that we want to give our services and our products to. So really looking forward to this hangout.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys for being here with us, and I'm Tariq Benson, and I'm in Africa, so sometimes my light might go off, so just bear with me. And we're going to have an awesome hangout today. So, to begin, we're going to discuss Facebook. So, what is Facebook? What is Facebook to you? How does Facebook help your business? So, I'll start with Dave. What is Facebook to you?
Yeah, okay. Well, Facebook has become incredibly important to me in quite a short space of time. I never actually got into Facebook on the social side for quite a long time, actually. I first got into Facebook for business when I had an internet web store selling wine, and from there I got into the sort of social side of it. But I've only recently, probably in the last 6 months or so, been using Facebook extensively for advertising my own affiliate businesses, SFM and others. So yeah, it's become very, very important for a lot of reasons to me. One being the power of the advertising, which I guess we'll go into in more detail during the hangout. And the other is as a means of communication with all of you guys and loads of other people. So it's an instant chat room. There's lots of different groups that are in there. An advertising medium, a way of keeping in touch with people all over the world, exchanging information, exchanging links. It's just an awesome resource for so many reasons. So yeah, it's become really quite important to me, I have to say.
Awesome, awesome. And Gary, when you were first introduced to Facebook, were you introduced to the business side or the social side at first?
Definitely the social side first. I do like to have a good topic and I like to share my thoughts and ideas as well, and it just generates interest. It's from a social point of view. I just like to see what people are saying, what the general news is about, and then as my business developed and grew, I saw it as a very, very good tool to use to drive traffic for your business. And with Facebook, it's 24/7. You can run it as you are, put your ads on there, run it all the time, and yeah. So for like Dave was saying, I've only recently got into Facebook advertising as one of my main strategies. Before I was just doing blogging and other strategies, but Facebook has so many advantages and is very easy to use once you get your head around it, and yeah, I really enjoy it.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary.
That's good.
And Karen, what is Facebook to you? What do you use Facebook for? Karen, are you there? Oops, we lost him. So we're moving on to Kat now. So what is Facebook to you? What do you usually use Facebook for?
Facebook to me, I was never really introduced to Facebook as a social media because I didn't know anything about the internet before I really hopped on a business, shall we say. And I love Facebook the bit. So I adore Facebook because it enables me to keep in touch with you guys and my business wherever I am in the world. You know, if I happen to travel, I don't go as far as you know, some people, but you know, I travel quite a bit within the country, for example, or just to Spain, and I can just log in, share photos. I have a friend that's just emigrated to Peru. She's setting up a sort of kitchen fund for the children. You know, we can keep in touch with that. And it's also a great way of just spreading love, really love and joy everywhere. So I love Facebook to bits. That's my take on it. We'll talk about the business side a little bit later on. I can't wait either to get in on that. But that's, you know, that's for me is and it also, yeah, it's also a good way to keep in touch with people. I've met you know, lots of friends that I wouldn't otherwise have kept in touch with. You know, via Facebook, you find old friends, you find new friends. You know, it's great. Can't hear you, Tarek.
Awesome, thanks, Karen. My mic was muted then. And Karen, what is Facebook to you? How has Facebook helped your business and the social side of Facebook as well?
Social side, yeah. Hi, thanks. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah. Facebook's awesome, isn't it? I mean, it just connects everyone, and it's just such amazing. I just can't imagine life without Facebook now. To think it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years now, isn't it? They were celebrating Facebook's 10-year anniversary. I think it was this year. So yeah, it's just it's such an incredible platform to me. And I actually seen my auntie yesterday, and one of the joys of this business is you can just take time off and go and see your close friends and close relatives. I actually see my auntie. She's 78, and I set her up a profile on Facebook, and I actually managed to get her profile up for her yesterday, and so she's overcome one of her big fears, her limiting fears, because she didn't want to have her face. For some reason, she just didn't want to have her face put up on Facebook. I don't know what it was, but I managed to talk her around with a little bit of negotiating skill. And yeah, we've now got her picture, and she's profiling. She's profiling Facebook at 78. So big, like, so grateful to be there yesterday and see my auntie, and see her get her Facebook profile picture up, and it was a real breakthrough. It was really good. Just goes to show, even at 78, you know, we're still having breakthroughs. And so yeah, that's what it was really cool to be there yesterday, and awesome experience. Great to see my auntie. So she's going to be posting pictures now on Facebook of her holiday, because she's off for a cruise around the Baltics, up through the Baltics, up Norway, Scandinavia, into Russia, and I'll be following her luxury cruise on Facebook. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'll be able to follow my auntie around on her next cruise. So yeah, Facebook's just an incredible platform, connecting people and keeping up on what people are doing, and it's amazing. That's what Facebook is to me.
Awesome, Karen.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way of explaining Facebook. It's a best way to get in touch and keep in touch with your friends, even though you're at various parts of the world. So, Satya, what is Facebook to you?
Oh, Facebook is like one of those things that has to be used wisely. I think maybe we've all experienced going down a rabbit hole of Facebook, but it's a wonderful place to keep in touch with people, and just to find like-minded people and like-hearted people who are interested in the same things that you are. It's a wonderful place to spy on people, to snoop around and see what people are up to. And since I lead quite the life of a hermit in many ways, I don't go out that much. So if anybody in my family gets pregnant, engaged, married, anything like that. If they go out for a drink at night, I know everything about it through Facebook, so I actually don't have to go out and talk to people. It's great for keeping in touch with people on their birthdays, simple things like that. And I was out for a walk last night, and every night there's this group of men who are in their 60s who gather in the very same place. And I've seen them a few times, and they're always laughing, they're always having great fun. And I decided last night to stop and chat to them and ask them, who are they, what are they doing here, why do they come here? And to cut a very long story short, I discovered that one of the guys, I knew his sister through Facebook. You know, we started trying to work out who we knew in common. So I actually knew his sister through Facebook because she's a friend of my aunt and comments on all my auntie's photographs and stuff like that. So it's all about making connections and just, you know, spreading love, spreading your message and having fun. From a business point of view, it's really, really excellent because it's a way to really target very specifically the people that you want to give your products to and your services. So that's what Facebook is for me, Tarek.
Awesome, Satya. Thanks for sharing that great story. And to me, myself, Facebook was, I was first introduced to the social side. That was when I was at university, because when we usually go out on a night out, we come back and then we look for girls and add them on Facebook, and that's how we get to connect to them. So that was how I was introduced to Facebook, until I had a business online, and I knew that, wow, this is a very, very useful tool to help grow your business. And I've been on Facebook doing business for quite some time now, and I found it to be like one of the most interesting places for you to do business, because you can target people based on their interests. So this will lead us to the next topic, which is the business side of Facebook. What is the business side of Facebook? Why is it important, and why is it that advertising on Facebook is different from advertising on other networks? I'll start with Kat on this.
Sorry, I was just looking. Yes, I was just answering Raj's question, who's on the air, and I've got the Webby Jam thing. What was your question again?
I said, we're talking about the business side of Facebook. How important is Facebook?
The business
to you
side.
and your business. Yep. And how important is the targeting with Facebook?
Okay, the thing with Facebook is brilliant is that you can be really specific. You can be town specific. Like if you think, you know, like Satya, obviously she has in her town, she must have people she really knows, so she can just specifically go to her town. For example, if we're having events in a town or you know area, I try and target people just in that area, so that before I go to the event, they can possibly come, or I can meet them at the event, perhaps after. You know, tete-a-tete with them, meet them head-on, face-to-face. I mean, and that's on the practical side of it. I think it's very interesting that way. It also brings you leads, so you get leads into your business, which means that people will be on your email list, and you get a rapport with them that way and build a relationship. And I think that all this, because you're being so specific as to who you're talking to. You know, I can have women of my age group with so many kids, and they will have more or less the same, you know, will be opposed, you know. And I think that's really important to talk to people who are just like you, because they will, well, you presume they will be interested in the same things as you. Or you could, if you're targeting a bit broader, then you target, you know, maybe books or interests, you know, maybe you like watercolor paintings or something, and talk tactics with other people about watercolor painting. I think these points of interest are highly profitable, not only for your business, because you know, well, in my business anyway, I like to talk to people who are on the same wavelength, because you know, we're all very, and I would, you know, probably you wouldn't be interested in what I'm interested in, Tarek. You know, you're way down there. In kids-wise, I mean, you haven't got any kids yet. That's what I'm talking. Sorry.
Awesome. Thanks for
my
sharing
kids
that.
Are leaving home.
Dave, how is Facebook good for you? How practical is it compared to other advertising network? How do you make money with Facebook?
Yeah, well, I think I suppose really just carrying on from what Kat was saying. The thing with Facebook that makes it so different from other forms of advertising is, as she was saying, the targeting possibilities with it. So if you look at something like, I don't know, say Google, advertising on Google, where you would bid against a keyword, so that's pretty much as close as you can get it, really. So if you're promoting some kind of a product, you can look for keywords that are related to that, and then just it's a case of the highest bidder gets the most traffic. And that's about as targeted as you can get, really. With Facebook, because when you set up a Facebook account, you're asked to volunteer information about yourself, what you're interested in, what you read, what you do, where you go, you know, all sorts of information that members of Facebook volunteer. Facebook makes those available to people for advertising, because after all, it is advertising that keeps Facebook alive. So in terms of, from a marketer's point of view, you have all that information at your disposal, and it actually they just keep making it sort of better and better and better, and giving more options to people who want to use that information for marketing. So it's good from a marketing point of view, but it's also good from a customer's point of view, because they're on Facebook sharing their interests and what the sorts of things they might be interested in looking at, sorts of products, services, training, education, whatever. So you can actually make your advertisements less annoying, shall we say, to people. So it's a very social form of advertising. I've heard it described as more like sitting in your front porch, you know, and people just happen to walk by and maybe engage you in conversation rather than you sort of thrusting a big, you know, for sale or thing in front of people's faces. So it's just a very sort of social and very accurate way to do marketing. So from my point of view, it means I can tailor the marketing that I put out to a very specific audience that are likely to be interested in it. So that's the big plus for me.
Awesome, Dave. Thanks for sharing that. And sticking to what you said, that you can tailor your marketing to a particular type of interest, I just want to elaborate on that a bit. For example, if you're trying to sell a dog training product, or you know how to train dogs, and you create a product that you want to sell to a dog training product specifically, so you can target people who like dogs. For example, the dog whisperer, you know, Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. So you can just target people who like Cesar Millan, and then that's a very good interest, because you know those people are definitely interested in dogs, and they're also interested in dog training. So that's like a precise targeting on Facebook. That's just an example. So Gary, how is Facebook important for your business, and how is it useful?
Hi, Tarek. Yes, just the big thing about Facebook is probably the best advertising in terms of attraction marketing, which is what we tend to use rather than direct sales. So when we're targeting different groups or different audiences, we don't directly sell a product. We look for their interests and target their interests, and I like that about that. That's great, because I'm not a salesman. So this is what we're doing, attraction marketing, and we'll find out interests, and it's a two-way thing as well, because you post things that you're interested in, and then you find out that people like your posts, so then you can find out what their interests are and their groups they're in, and it's a very, very good research tool as well to gather all the information on about what your audiences are, trends of topic of interest at the time, what they're into at the time, what products they're using, what services they're using. So for me, for my business, I use it as a research tool as well as attraction marketing. So, and with Facebook, as I said, it's 24/7. So you can just set your ads up, and they can just go. You don't even have to watch it, but you can just post it as many times as you want, and can see what times as well, going a little bit deeper into it. But yeah, for me, it's the research side of it as well as the advertising for it is goes hand in hand, because if you don't know who you're targeting, who you're marketing, you're not going to attract that the right type of person to your product or service. So yeah, it's the best form I use anyway. If that helps.
Awesome, that
Makes
helps a lot. That helps a lot, Gary. Thanks for that.
All right.
I remembered back when I was in Swansea, there was a time I saw an ad, a right-hand ad for Rich Dad Poor Dad conference in the Marriott Hotel in Swansea. And back then, I never knew what Facebook advertising was. And I went for the conference, and it was like the guy talked about Rich Dad Poor Dad educational system and stuff. So I was thinking to myself, after being in the business, like, how did he find me? And I thought to myself, because I liked Robert Kiyosaki and his books, that's why he could attract me to attend that conference in Swansea. And he targeted my location as well. So I'll say probably he looked for people who like Rich Dad Poor Dad and who are located in Swansea to attend the conference in Swansea. That's another way you can apply to your business. So Karen, how is Facebook important for your business, and how is it different from other advertising platforms?
Thanks, Tarek. Yeah, I think for me it's like you can, like you were saying about the dog and picking a particular niche. Like, so you can say, okay, Cesar Millan. Then there might be, I don't know, 200, 300,000 people who like that, and they actually know that they like that because they actually gone onto Facebook and ticked and a particular interest. So you can pinpoint exactly those people, and then it breaks down into male and female. So like 50,000 of those could be male, and like 150,000 those could be female. So then you know from that you can then work out which either the male or females, which ones are more interested in the product that you're selling, if that makes sense. And so then you can break it down even further. So that's what I really like about it, is that you're able to like just generally find something of interest, and then accurately make that break that down, so you can get a better return on your investment effectively by narrowing down your niche to a particular audience, and then you can even break down the ages as well. So you can actually find a particular age. You might find from testing that the age from 35 to 45 is more of an interest or a better opt-in than the age from 45 to 55 of men, or 45 to 55 of women. So I actually like that fact that you can be laser targeted and break down to be absolutely specific and hit your target right in the center, and be really specific on your niche. That's what I like particularly from Facebook.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Karen. Just elaborating on what you just said. For an example, if you have a bridal shop in Glasgow, for example, and you want to sell your bridal materials, what you can do with Facebook is target ladies in Glasgow who are single or who are engaged, who are going to get married soon, and that is laser targeting, as Karen just said. So, Satya, how is Facebook important for your business, and what is the benefits of using Facebook?
For me, Facebook has helped me get in touch with people who are looking for exactly what it is that I'm offering, the kind of services and products that I offer. Whenever I put out an ad on Facebook, just as everybody has been talking about, I try and make an avatar. So imagine the perfect person that I would like to attract to my business, and I think about that person in as much detail as I possibly can, their interests, their age, where they live, all of these things that we've already talked about. So because through the ads I have been able to attract people who have opted into my subscriber list, meaning they've given me their email address, and that means that I am able to stay in touch with these people on a daily basis, allow them to get to know me a bit better, so to focus on relationship building. And as you may or may not know, but relationship building is so important, especially for online business. The people get to know you, to like you, and to trust you. That's really what we want. And as a long-term strategy, to get people who will really resonate with you and what you're all about in life, then Facebook can be really, really good for this. Compared to other forms of advertising, if we take banner advertising as an example, banner advertising is when you put an advert on someone else's website. And the thing with banner advertising is that, yes, it can be targeted if you go to a very specific website, but you also have to pay out a lot more money in the beginning, and in order to test if your banner ad is going to work or not, you might have to pay out $150. With Facebook, you can put up an ad and you can spend $5 just testing if it's going to work or not. So for anybody who has a small marketing budget, small advertising budget, Facebook ads are excellent because you have full control over how much money you're spending. Every day you can set a daily budget or what's called a lifetime budget for any particular campaign. So this is another great advantage of Facebook advertising. Also, compared to solo ads, a solo ad is when you get someone who owns a very large email list to email their list with one of your offers on your behalf. Again, you can't really know that the people who will opt into your list are quite so targeted. So again, it's just all about specific targeting and control of your budget.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Satya. And Dave, you want to answer the question asked by Raj?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, Raj is asking how deep do you test the demographic and how often do you check results or tweak the ads? I think it varies quite a lot. I don't know if anyone would sort of agree. I don't think you should make snap judgments, but there's a lot of information available through Facebook. You can set a tracking pixel and you can closely monitor the results. So you can look at things like click-through rates and how many clicks are actually going through the advert in the first place, and then obviously you want to find out from that how many of them are actually becoming leads, giving you that email as Satya was mentioning, and going onto your list. So I think it varies. There's a few things that are going to influence that. One's obviously your budget. If you can afford to be spending $10, $20 or more a day, you're going to see results coming through a lot faster. If you've got a smaller budget, then I personally tend to let it run a bit longer. If I'm getting a lot of clicks but I'm not getting any leads from it, then I know maybe the images and the text are correct, but I maybe just have got the demographic slightly wrong. So people are just, a lot of people are just quite click happy on Facebook, so sometimes people are just going to click because it's a nice picture and they're just curious. So the secret of I guess testing in any advertising is to just keep trying to make tiny tweaks until you get it kind of just right, or scrap it altogether. So there's no, I don't think there's any easy answer to it, to be honest. I think you can tell within a couple of days if an advert is just not working at all for one reason or another. I mean, I ran one recently where I get lots and lots of clicks, but I very few leads from it. So I actually let that run for a few days just because it was getting a lot of clicks and a good click-through rate, which is one of the indicators I suppose you look for. But it is not always particularly useful if at the end of the day they aren't turning into leads and then they aren't turning into sales. So yeah, I think budget and just checking the adverts regularly is good, and making decisions based on that just really depends on quite a lot of different factors. So I don't know if that answers the question, or if anyone else has got anything to add to that.
Yeah, Dave, you're right with that, because I think the budget is a huge factor to know if an ad is working. Because, for example, if you spend $50 on an ad and then shut it down thinking it's not working, that's not enough information. Rather than someone spending about $200-300 on that ad to get a wider range of information to know if it's actually working or not. So once you have a large budget, you can test to see what is working or not. But if you spend a little bit and you shut down the ad, that's not really wise because you need to spend enough to get the information. I like what Guy Nilad always say. One rule about marketing is that when you market, you gather information at first, and then you use that information to work out what is working or not. So when you're marketing first, you're going to lose money just to get the information. Once you get the information, that's why we track to know what's working well. And as Dave mentioned, you get tracking pixels from Facebook, and with that you can put it on your pages to know what actions they take on your page. For example, you can put one on your landing page to know what leads you got, and you can put one on your checkout page to know who have actually made a purchase. So that's a bit going in depth, and we said today we want to stick to a little bit of our experience, not going deep into practical. So Kat, do you want to add anything to that, or anyone else?
Yeah, sorry, I'd like to add, because Raj asked how deep do you go testing the demographics, and I think Kieran went in a little bit of detail on that, where he was saying, you know, any sort of age group, so you can, you know, test whether it's male or female. You can test from, you know, it depends how you want to do the age group, but we have also been taught by Guy and Lon, it's Satori Prime, that, you know, at first you test 5 year by 5 years. So you can do 35 to 40, 40 to 45, or 41 to 40, whatever. You know, so you can do every 5 years, every 10 years, it depends. And if you see that perhaps, you know, you're getting, people are liking your training dog ads, males that are, you know, 20 to 25, then you know that's your demographic target. That's what we call demographics. And then you can test perhaps the area. You know, you've got, for example, south of England. Well, would they be sort of west, or would they be east? Then you can do it that way. And once you have all that information, then you can, you know, you've got a lot of information like we've been saying, and then you can, you know, put all your ad budget in this one ad that you know is doing well, because you've tested and tweaked your ad, so that you can, you know, spend a lot of budget on this particular, say, East England, you know, males 35, whatever it might be. And the way you know that is you track, like Tarek was saying, you have your pixels. So these are things that Facebook give you. They just give you a code that you put on your landing page. Now, your landing page will be something that, you know, when someone clicks on your ad, they'll go to another page. That other page will be the landing page. And this is generally where you ask for your email, okay? I personally used to do that, but I found that it's of no use to me to know that, you know, I have because Facebook gives you that's a click-through rate. So Facebook gives you that anyway. That's one of the statistics they give you. So I personally put it on my thank you page, which is once you've given your email, you then go to another page where they say, oh, thank you for signing up. You know, and they might give you the first information or the download ebook, or they'll tell you that it's in your mail, if that's, you know, how they're operating. And that, then I know I've already got the lead, you know, that to me is more, but I've learned from my mistakes, or from the fact that the information I was getting was not convenient for my statistical analysis, or whatever you want to say. I also, sorry, Guy and Ilan are Satori Prime. Yes, I'll write that down. And also, I think that it is important to know that there's lots of training on this, and it really, depending on where you're starting from, it's going to be how deep you're going. Now, to actually tweak your ad, I personally think you shouldn't change an ad. You just put it to pause and bring a new one up. Okay, you'll be given a new pixel from Facebook, which you put either on your landing page or your thank you page, whatever. And I think then you get that information, and it is always good to let an ad run at a determined rate, whatever that might be. You determine that before for your own marketing. You say, well, I'm going to wait for 100 clicks, for example. I'm going to wait till I've, you know, done a $10 or $20 or whatever it might be, and you stick to that, you know, unless you're really seeing that your ad is not getting any clicks, then you're not paying, so it doesn't cost you anything. You know, but you have to stick to your whatever you decided, unless you see, for example, this ad is, you know, going so well, it's doing so brilliantly well. Yes, I can stop all the other adverts and just concentrate my budget on that, for example. That's one way of, you know, of doing it.
Awesome,
so,
awesome.
Sorry,
Thanks, Kat.
Carried away there.
And do remember to go to our Facebook group page, which is Success by Hangout group, to put your questions over there, and we'll be able to give you detailed answers over there. And also, still sticking with Facebook, how important is Facebook when you're tracking? How important is the information that you get from Facebook? And how is that important with other third-party information? Dave, do you want to answer that?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, as I think as Kat was saying, I was saying earlier, some of the information more useful than other parts of it from Facebook, but in terms of the sort of tracking pixel side of things, without getting too sort of technical, whenever someone clicks through and goes to your landing page, as Kat was talking about, where they have the opportunity to submit an email for whatever it is you're offering. In our case, it's often a series of videos. Those then also go into your autoresponder setup, your eWeber setup, and you can set that up to notify you when you get leads anyway by email, which I have done. So in terms of needing Facebook to tell you that, that's to me largely irrelevant. But the information that is quite useful is how many times the advert's been seen, because it's a kind of more or less a fact or a rule of thumb that it, on average, takes people 7 times of seeing something before they necessarily react to it. So, you know, Facebook will show that advert to your chosen audience a number of times, depending on your budget and what time settings that you've set it up for. So, for me, the useful information is the number of clicks that you've had on it, in terms of how many people have actually seen the advert. And for me, that's quite a good way to gauge which parts of that whole process are working. So I don't personally have lots of adverts running at the same time. I tend to sort of stick with one and give it a bit of time. And a lot of it is sort of intuitive as well. I think you get a sort of bit of a gut feeling for what seems to be working sometimes and what doesn't. And my preferred way of doing things is to just let the ads run until I think they've kind of run their course, and then stop them and maybe make a couple of changes, and you know, try and take note of which part of it I've got right. So, for example, if people are clicking a lot on the advert but not doing much else, then where I'm sending them to maybe doesn't make sense to them, and maybe it's not congruent with what they clicked on. So maybe they see a picture of, we stick with the dog thing, if someone sees a nice picture of a dog and some copy that's promoting a related product, and they then go to a landing page that doesn't have a dog in it, for example, or just doesn't really fit with what they initially saw, then the results are that people aren't necessarily going to go any further. So it's all a sort of constant testing process. But yeah, in terms of the information Facebook gives you back, I think over time you can make more judgments on how useful that is to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Satya, do you want to add anything to that?
I think Dave and Kat have given a really comprehensive overview, if you can have a comprehensive overview, if you can have such a thing, but you know, a very solid description of what it's all about. I guess I would like to add that as someone who just recently started doing Facebook ads, and I can imagine that for anybody listening to this who hasn't done a Facebook ad before, that it can sound extremely overwhelming. But what I would suggest is that if Facebook ads is something that you do want to do, and we've discussed already the reasons that you would want to do it and why it is so beneficial, then there is an awful lot of help available out there for you. There are products that you can get, and there are also coaches or live trainings, mentors, people who are using Facebook ads all the time, every day, and really know their stuff. And what I discovered when I started doing them, in the beginning, yes, it was quite an ordeal to get my head around everything. There are a lot of moving parts, but after just 2 days, I had a much better understanding of everything. I could see how all the parts fitted together. So I would really encourage you to not be put off by all this terminology. And if it sounds complicated, I'd actually, once you sit down, spend a bit of time dedicating yourself to really understanding it, then it gets an awful lot easier, and the benefits are just really are worth the amount of time that you'll put into it.
Awesome, Satya. Thanks for sharing those valuable points. Karen, do you want to add anything else?
That's pretty good account, as Satya was saying. I think, yeah, also, the real benefit is being able to just know almost instantly if your ad is working or not. That is just such an awesome benefit to have. You know, just going back to the banner ads example, it really is. You know, you could spend that money and the advert's not worked, whereas Facebook, as soon as you know that information, you can turn it off instantly. You've saved all that money. It really is a massive bonus to have that. So yeah, pretty good account, guys. I think that's should whet someone's appetite.
Awesome. Gary, do you want to add anything else?
I lost the thread of conversation, Tarek, because I had a power cut at my house and I've literally had to go log off and log back in, so I do apologise. The whole house just went into darkness.
Are you in
this
Africa
only
now?
happens to you. So no, I'll pass on this one so we don't go over ourselves, so thank you.
Okay. For me, myself, personally, what I found Facebook, I know this might be obvious, but like, when we live in Africa and being able to conduct ads, targeting people in America, in the UK, in Australia, in Canada, without actually being in those countries, but I can target them and sell something to them, that's just amazing. Because, I don't know, nothing does that so easily. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's a digital revolution. So that's what Facebook is to me. I could just sit in Africa and target people all across the world and sell products to them without them even knowing that I'm from Africa. So that's what Facebook is to me, and I found it very revolutionary, and it's very good for business. So anybody want to add any point on Facebook?
Tarek, could I just mention the rules? That Facebook does have some very strict rules about the kinds of ads that they allow, because I think it's important to know that if there are certain topics that Facebook just don't like, and they approve and disapprove ads, and some people in the industry have even had their Facebook accounts shut down completely because Facebook didn't like what we were doing. So the kinds of things that Facebook doesn't like are adverts to do with MLM, multi-level marketing, or network marketing. They don't like that. They don't really like. They really don't like anything to do with make money online. Anything that's a get rich quick scheme. They don't like get rich quick schemes. So it's something to think about. How you you know, what kind of words that you use in your copy, because there are certain words which I guess put up red flags for the people in Facebook who are in charge of approving ads. And I guess we all know people who become very frustrated with Facebook and their rules, because sometimes they can seem quite arbitrary, and two people can put up the same ad. One gets disapproved, the other gets approved. So it's just something to bear in mind that, you know, after all, Facebook is a social network. You know, people are there to be entertained, to have fun, and they really don't like anything that has a whiff of a scam about it. So that's just one point that I'd like to make. And again, just how important, how useful it is to have a coach who knows what they're talking about, somebody who's using Facebook a lot and really understands how all these things work. Can save you an awful lot of time and an awful lot of frustration. So thanks, Tarek, for letting me make that point.
Awesome. Thanks, Satya, for making that point. That was a very important point. And one thing I would like to add is that most of us here, me myself speaking, I've spent over $2,000 on Facebook training to learn how to do Facebook ads properly. So if you have any questions, I know Gary, Satya, they've also spent loads of money to educate themselves on Facebook. So if you have any questions, just go to the Facebook group, our Facebook group, which is Sussex by Hangout group, to put your questions there, and we'll be willing to answer any questions that you have. So, Kat, do you want to add anything else to this?
Yeah, I think that also Facebook is really handy because we happen to work in for an English-speaking company, etc. I live in France, so I can, target the English-speaking in French, or vice versa. And you can do it in other languages. I mean, we work also with Swedish people who, advertise in Swedish and in English. And I think that's not to be, I can't find my English words now. I'm sorry, just lost. But I think that's, it's multi-language, as you were saying. You can advertise anywhere. You don't have to be in the country, and the business. I think it's really, really important, and I can't imagine my business without Facebook anyway. It's, major source of traffic.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Kat. And Gary, any last words about Facebook ads?
Yeah, what Satya was saying about the guidelines. A lot of people get frustrated when they have their ads disapproved, or sometimes their Facebook accounts shut down. And you really have to look through carefully. I can't emphasize enough how important it is, because it does change quite often, their rules and their parameters within advertising, and depending who you're targeting to. So with your actual advert, always have a nice clear image with not too much writing on. Keep it quite to juice, and not like, buy my stuff now. Just keep it nice and congruent to what you're selling with your product or service. And then just put a real catchy headline at the top on your post. So don't have too much writing on your images, and that's just a tip for me, just to get your adverts approved. And yeah, please do read the guidelines, because they will approve you. I mean, I haven't had many disapproved, but don't get disheartened if they do. It's just Facebook. It's not what you're doing. We just tweak it a little bit, maybe just not too much writing, or maybe just change the words in your advert a bit, and then post it again. And that's what I do. And it all depends on your budget as well. But if you're not tracking enough, then you're not going to know what's working and what's not. So my last passing comment is, do your tracking and do your research as well.
Awesome, awesome,
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Gary. And any last words from anyone?
Yeah, I'd just briefly like to say that Facebook, like everything else on the internet, it changes all the time. So if it is something you're going to get into, and you probably should, for all the reasons we've discussed, it's probably worth subscribing to some of the experts that are out there, because you find people who are dedicated experts to sort of advanced Facebook marketing, that they're very much on top of changes, because they very often happen in America before they happen elsewhere in the world. And it's nice to, really valuable actually, to be subscribed to someone that's going to give you, this little thing's changed, or this is coming up, or look out for this, or be aware of this. So it's actually one of the things that's pretty exciting about it, is that it's kind of forever changing, but just to be aware that sometimes you go in the day after you've done something and it's changed slightly, but you can see the same for most things online. But yeah, work on Facebook.
Awesome. Karen, I feel you want to add something to that.
Work on Facebook. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what it's all about. Yeah, just get a Facebook page up and going. For a fan page, a business page. That's the first step. Just get your business page up and running, and take it from there. Everything else can just fall into place. But that's you need to get out there and just start experiencing it, and That's the key thing, really. Just get some experience and get started.
Awesome. And I want to leave you with some few statistics. I just opened this up. Facebook in 2012 made over $5,000 million, and out of that $5,000 million, 4,700 were from Facebook advertisement. So that's how huge Facebook is. Most of Facebook revenue is generated through ads. So this is where most people spend their money, because it is an easy way to target people. Just what we said, a few points we said. We said it's a place where you can get laser targeted. You can target people based on their interest, attraction marketing, everything. So if you want to get started marketing online, Facebook is the place to be. So Kat, any last words, and where can we get in touch with you?
I'm muting myself. Okay, I'd like to get in touch with I'd like you to get in touch with me on the. I put the link for the Facebook group. You click the link and you join any one of us. Ask any questions you'd like. I think Facebook, as I say, is an amazing tool. It's very mobile. It moves all the time, and it's not fixed. You know, I prefer it to having banner ads or anything, because I can control it. If I want to stop my ad within the day, I can. I have total and utter control. Banner ads, solo ads, all sorts of other advertising methods are not so mobile. Okay, so there's always price to pay, and that's that. You know, you might get your ads disapproved. So that's it. And you can get a hold of me on katbayan.com, or I'd really like to get a hold of you on the group, or you to get a hold of us.
Awesome. Thanks for the last word, Kat. Dave, where can we get hold of you? Any last words?
Again, the Success by Hangout Facebook group, since we're talking about Facebook, come and see us on Facebook. My own website's just davemenzies.com if you want to get in touch with me. Just echo what everyone was saying. Facebook rocks, and long may it continue to do so.
Awesome. Gary, last words?
Yes, just please do pop your questions to one of us or to the group, and we'll answer them in the Success by Hangout Facebook group. You can catch me, if you want to get in contact with me, on joehayes.com. And I just can't live without Facebook. Simple as that. I don't know what I'd do without it. So it's been amazing. Great discussion tonight. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Karen, where can we get a hold of you?
Get hold of me, reach out and grab me. I'm on Facebook and I'm there and I'm waiting. So come and ask your questions. Success by Hangout, and we rock, and we're rocking it, baby. See you next time.
Awesome. Satya.
Okay, well, I'll be rocking away with everybody else in the Success by Hangout group on Facebook. My website is satyagillen.com, and I have a contact from there if you want to get in touch with me. I'm on Twitter, Satya Gillen is my handle on Twitter, and Skype, satya.gillen. Thanks so much, everybody. I have really enjoyed this conversation tonight.
Awesome, Satya. Thank you very much for participating. And you can get in touch with all these rockstars. I can see Dave there with his guitar on the Facebook group, which is Success by Hangout group. And you can get in touch with me at tarikmarketing.com. And I hope you've enjoyed this hangout with us. And have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.